The volleyball team can't stop winning.
Meanwhile, how did the women's soccer team play on senior day?
Thanks for joining us. Golden Eagle Sports Report starts right now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sophie Hanrahan, joined by Alyssa Tobias. Marquette women's soccer had their senior day at Valley Fields on Sunday, where they faced off against the 25th ranked Xavier Musketeers.
Both teams came out of the gates with early physicality and aggression, with the game's first goal being scored in the 9th minute by Xavier's Samantha Urbach.
Xavier's goal was quickly answered with a goal from Marquette's Kate Gibson in the 11th minute.
Marquette goalie Chloe Olsen had a fantastic first half performance with multiple saves that kept the Golden Eagles in the game.
Still, Xavier's Reagan Dancer was able to score the go-ahead goal in the 55th minute.
Despite a late mass substitution as an attempt to score late, the Golden Eagles were unable to score their equalizer.
Regardless of frustration surrounding their loss, senior day spirits were kept high with help from the Golden Eagle fans in attendance. The Marquette women's volleyball team looks to cap off their weekend road swing with a victory over Georgetown.
Both teams traded blow for blow, kill for kill in the opening set, keeping the score close with neither team able to pull away.
That is, until the Golden Eagles ramp up the energy, going on a 4-0 run, followed by another dominating 7-0 run, ending the set 25-15.
Georgetown sets the tone for the second set, 10-4, taking the energy advantage.
But as the saying goes, the slow and steady wins the race.
The Golden Eagles take the slow grind to decrease the deficit going on quick runs here and there, slowly breaking down Georgetown's game plan. The Golden Eagles look poised and controlled on their way to win the second set 25-20. The final set ends in utter domination. Marquette has their highest win margin, only allowing Georgetown 9 points in the set. Ella Foti and Aubrey Hamilton lead the team with 11 and 10 kills, and the team earns 12 service aces and 3 sets in the sweep over Georgetown.
And after an impressive week, we welcome in Sports Director Matt Baltz to help break down the volleyball team's rest of season outlook. Thank you for joining us, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
The team is on fire and currently on a 9-game winning streak. Which team in the Big East poses the biggest threat?
I would definitely say Creighton. I mean, you look at Creighton, they've got Norsis, they've got Ava Martin, they've got reigning Big East Player of the Year, Kendra Waite, and they just really have a lot of talent. They've struggled, but they are 10-0 in Big East play. They haven't lost a game. They've only lost one set, and that was to Marquette at Creighton. So Marquette's really the only team that's even been able to challenge them throughout a set, and they've only lost 2 games all year, both to top 5 opponents in 5 sets. So Creighton's been untouchable. They are by far the favorite in the Big East as of now. And really, Marquette's the only team that has a chance, I would say, to really give them an upset, and that would have to be at home later this season at the Al McGuire Center. So I would say right now it's Creighton's conference to lose, but Marquette's not out of it. They only have 1 loss, so I would say right now Creighton's the favorite, but Marquette's a dark horse, and they can get them at home. It'll make things a lot easier for Marquette to win their 4th Big East championship in 4 years.
Great. Redshirt Natalie's sophomore rank has been on another level this season. Has she stepped up as the X factor on this team?
X factor, I would say no, but one of the stars, yes. Natalie's improvements have been massive for Marquette. I mean, you look at Natalie, she didn't play a whole lot last year. She actually redshirted last year, didn't play a whole lot her freshman year. And 6 of her last 9 games now, she's been in double-digit kills. So she has played very, very well. She's tied her career high of 13 3 times this past month, which has been pretty amazing for Marquette to see. You know, you look at Marquette on a broader scale. You know, we mentioned Hamilton. They have Hattie Bray, Carson Murray, Ella Foti, Jenna Reitzma. They have all these hitters. They think they have 6 hitters who give you double-digit kills on any given night. So for Marquette, you really just look at it. It's like, where could it come from? That's what opponents have to worry about. They have to worry about where could it come from? Where are we getting all these kills from? And it just really makes it difficult on opposing defenses when setter Yadier Enchante has so many different angles and so many different hitters that she can set the ball up to, and ultimately, she could do it 10 times a night to any of those players, and Marquette would win. So it really takes a lot of pressure off Aubrey, Hattie, Carson, some of their more prominently featured hitters, and gives them an ability to really disperse the wealth a lot more offensively.
This season, Coach Tice has run a roulette of liberos. but which one do you think is best fit for Marquette moving forward?
I would say right now Samantha Neighbor. I just think overall defensively they are at their best when she's on the floor. You know, you look at the dig count, she is third on the team in digs, so defensively she's been one of their better back row players. And overall, like, I just like her athleticism, her reaction time. I really like all of it. And sneakily, nobody else will say this, but sneakily, she is one of their better players at the service line. You know, the stats won't show it, aces and errors-wise, they won't show it. But she has been one of their better players from the service line this year. And ultimately, I think for all those reasons, that's why Samantha is their best option at libero moving forward.
In the past week and a half, Marquette has had 2 5-set games against DePaul and Seton Hall. Is Marquette's recent success sustainable?
You know, I'm going to say no. Look, you can't keep going to 5 sets against teams that you should beat. They just played 6 games in 10 days, right? They started that runoff with a 5-set thrilling comeback win against DePaul, a team they should beat. Then they played a 5-set match just this past weekend against Seton Hall, who they should also beat. And those are 2 teams you got to keep in mind. The Big East has not been that strong at volleyball lately. Those are 2 teams where if you lose to them, your NCAA tournament berth could be at stake. So, you know, it's definitely not sustainable to lose those teams, but it's also not sustainable to keep going to 5 sets. Marquette's about halfway through Big East play. They still have to play, 10 more games. You can't keep going to 5 sets. You can't keep prolonging these games because ultimately what happens, you get tired legs, you put a lot of mileage on your bodies, and it can start to wear down. It's a long season. So, and you got to be ready for Creighton and St. John's because they still have to come to the Al McGuire Center and play Marquette. So ultimately, the 5-set games are not sustainable. They need to continue to just keep beating teams that they should beat in 3 or 4 sets because you need to be fresh when Creighton comes to town and when St. John's comes to town.
Well, looking ahead, Marquette hosts Villanova on Friday. How does Marquette match up against them?
Yeah, Marquette swept Villanova pretty easily in Philly a couple weeks ago. Aubrey Hamilton led the team with 15 kills. Ring had 12, I believe. So, look, Marquette is just better than Villanova. Like, I'll be the first to say it. Like, if you look at the stats, too, Marquette does pretty much everything better than Villanova statistically. So, with that being said, as long as Marquette, serves aggressively like they do, they run a fast style of offense, and they continue to spread the wealth offensively. Another thing is their setters. Jenna Reitzma has been in way more of a passing role this season. So as long as she continues to set well, and obviously Yadi, former Big East setter of the year, as long as those 2 continue to pass and put their hitters in positions to succeed, not only should Marquette not have any issue with Villanova this upcoming weekend, but they really shouldn't have that much of a problem with the rest of the Big East other than that Creighton game, which ultimately is going to be the decider in how this conference is decided this season.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Matt, but unfortunately we are out of time. Coming up, how did the men's soccer team fare? Plus, who will take home our weekly awards? Find out after the break.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born, and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Welcome back to GESR. Once again, I'm Sophie Hanrahan.
And I'm Alyssa Tobias. The men's soccer team goes head-to-head against Akron, looking to pick up a win at home on Valley Fields.
The game opens in a back-and-forth stalemate, and both teams' defensive pressure being at an all-time high.
Just 9 seconds shy of the 13th minute mark, Akron finds a crack through the Golden Eagles' defense and leaps on the opportunity.
Akron penetrates the defense and finds the back of the net to get the first points on the scoreboard for both teams.
Akron continues to play physical, hard-nosed defense, resulting in only one Marquette shot on goal in the first half to their 6.
Marquette goes back to the drawing board in the second half, hoping to even up the score.
However, the second half would look even more grim for the Golden Eagles as Akron increases the lead, scoring a goal in the 62nd minute.
In the heat of the battle, both teams collect yellow cards for multiple players in the span of only 5 minutes.
This doesn't slow down Akron as tacks on their third goal of the game in the 75th minute.
Marquette goes on to lose the game 3-0, not being able to pull out a win since September 29th against Butler.
Every year, Marquette volleyball faces off with University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. For the two teams' head coaches, it's not just a match, it's a reunion. Assistant sports editor Jack Albright brings us more.
Study buddies.
Before the basketball season starts,
and study a bit after.
Turned coaching colleagues. Ryan Tice and Susie Johnson have known each other for a very long time. In 1999, Tice, the Marquette volleyball head coach, started his career as a graduate assistant at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. At the same time, Johnson, who's been at the Panthers' helm since 2007, was an assistant coach with the program. That's how they first got to know each other. But it was a class that really brought them closer together.
It was me finishing my undergrad and her finishing her master's. It was a really hard class. We actually studied together the entire semester. So we became pretty good friends at that point.
Once a year, though, they put their friendship briefly on pause for the annual Milwaukee Volleyball Derby, which this season took place Tuesday night on Marquette's campus at the Al McGuire Center.
I saw some Marquette alumni, some UWM alumni that went to school when I was there. So it's just great for our community to have this kind of draw and have this kind of match.
While Tice has coached all over the country, Johnson has spent the last 28 years of her career in Milwaukee. So when Tice was hired by Marquette 11 years ago, it meant they'd be back in the same city for the first time in decades.
This isn't the only time I talk to him. I know a lot about what's going on with him. We try to schedule every year. It is nice to see him here, but I do see him, because we are in such close location.
The two talk often, whether they're at various volleyball camps and showcases, or, like last weekend, after each of their teams gets a big win.
I texted her this weekend when they beat Wright State, great win, saw the reverse sweep. She said, saw it, same from you.
A relationship which started in college, but has endured decades and rivalries. I'm Jack Albright, Marquette, Wire Sports.
before the basketball season starts, senior guard Cam Jones has been named the preseason All-Big East first team. The senior guard averaged 17 points on 50% from the floor last season. Jones is expected to have a much larger role after the departure of Tyler Kolek. We'll see Cam Jones in action when Marquette plays Stony Brook next Monday. And now we bring back a GESR staple. Weekly Awards is back.
Our Team of the Week award goes to the women's volleyball team.
The Golden Eagles have extended their winning streak to 9 games with wins this week over UW-Milwaukee, Seton Hall, Princeton, and Georgetown.
They now hold a 15-6 overall record and are 9-1 in Big East play.
This week's MVP also comes from women's volleyball Yadira Enchante.
Enchante averaged 10.36 assists per set with 6 aces, 4 blocks, and 3 digs per set to help the Golden Eagles to a 4-0 week.
Enchante also secured a spot on the Big East Honor Roll, which makes it her 3rd consecutive week with the honor and her 4th on the season.
And finally, our Rookie of the Week comes from men's soccer with Grant Locker, who scored the go-ahead goal in Wednesday's draw versus DePaul.
It was Locker's only shot in his 35 minutes played and was the freshman's first goal in his collegiate career.
Coming up this week in Marquette Athletics. The women's soccer team heads to New Jersey this Thursday to take on the Seton Hall Pirates at 5 p.m. Central. The volleyball team hosts Villanova this Friday inside the Al at 7 p.m. The men's soccer team hosts Creighton this Saturday at Valley Fields at 1 p.m. And on Sunday, the volleyball team is back on campus when they host St. John's inside the Almaguire at 1 p.m. Finally, the men's basketball team have their season opener against Stony Brook this Monday at Pfizer Forum at 7:30 p.m. Coming up in pro sports, what is going wrong for the Yankees?
Plus, is Anthony Richardson an NFL starter? Find out after the break.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Did you see that? Whoa, we scored?
Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what?
Yep, that's mine.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
And welcome back to Studio 7 as we discuss the latest news in professional and collegiate sports. Joining me on the panel tonight is Jake Dale and Nate Oif. Boys, let's get started. With the season entering the second week, there are many players who are out on injuries. Kawhi Leonard has no expected return. Paul George and Joel Embiid are out and no longer playing in back-to-back games. And Chris Middleton and Kristaps Porzingis are out, as well as Steph Curry and many other players getting injured at the start of the season. As injuries are a part of the game, this absurd amount of players being out raises a lot of alarms. Should the NBA get rid of back-to-back games as a whole, or should they shorten the season to reduce the odds of injury? Nate, let's hear what your take is on this.
I think they should get rid of back-to-backs. I don't think it's realistic that they shorten the season. I mean, as NBA fans, we want to see the best product. We don't want to see the playoffs again without Giannis, without Jimmy Butler, with a hurt Joel Embiid, or with a hurt Jalen Brunson. We want to see the most competitive play, and we want to see like the most definite champion. We don't want to see the Celtics cakewalk to another finals. No one wants to see that. So I think if we do get rid of back-to-backs, it decreases the chance that these superstars get injured. Although it may not get rid of it completely, it can decrease it.
And Jake, what do you think about this, about the NBA getting rid of back-to-back games? What do you think?
Well, I think injuries are just a cost of doing business. That's what happens when you have a physical sport like basketball. It's just how it goes. You're going to be playing a lot. Fitting in 82 games is something that the NBA has almost always done, and I think should continue to do. These guys are paid millions of dollars and have some of the best training staffs in the world. It's unfortunate that these guys are getting injured at the rate that they're injured at. Obviously, everyone wants to be healthy and in perfect form for the playoffs, but we've seen load management before, and we've still seen people missing from the playoffs even while load managing.
Yeah, and in the third quarter of the Colts game, second-year quarterback Anthony Richardson tapped out and sat a play out on a critical third-and-goal moment because he needed a breather. And now the Colts have announced they'll be starting veteran Joe Flacco. Does Anthony Richardson have what it takes to be a starting quarterback in the NFL if he needs a breather? We're going to start with you on this one here, Jake. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's still a starting quarterback in the NFL. Obviously, you never want to see anyone take a seat on the bench, especially at their own volition, especially for it to be a guy like Anthony Richardson, who was a top pick and who was heralded as someone who will be really good. I think those same tendencies that people saw for him to be really good are still there. So I think he is still an NFL caliber quarterback, and I think he will continue to be. Whether or not he shows it in these recent games is unfortunate, but I think he showed flashes, and I think in time he will find his footing.
I'm not sure yet. I think it was silly that they benched him. I mean, they knew coming in, drafting him at 4th overall, that he was a raw prospect. He would need time to develop. He would need reps, and he just hasn't gotten that. He didn't play much in college. He only played 4 games last year, and he's played 6 games this year. I mean, although he only has 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and a 44% completion percentage, I mean, it's not good, but he needs the reps, and he needs just the time to get to where the Colts think he can get to. I mean, they're not going to win the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco, so you have to get through these growing pains with Anthony Richardson to get to his full potential, which that's the reason they drafted him, because they saw him as this athletic, this big. He has one of the strongest arms in the NFL, so I think it was silly they benched him, and I honestly think they should just continue to play him.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I mean, when you're in the NFL and you're a quarterback, you're the head honcho of the team. You're leading your guys. You're setting the tone for what needs to be happening. And, you know, the Colts end up going on to lose this game. And I'm going to totally put the blame on Anthony Richardson. You know, you're the leader of the team. You need a breather in the NFL. You're getting paid millions of dollars. Quite frankly, I think it's just honestly pathetic. What do you guys think of this? Should you be getting paid millions of dollars to sit out?
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate. It's kind of hard to rationalize, right, in the moment. But the reality is that he has the skill. And if the only problem there is mental, it's much easier, I think, to teach mental strength and for him to learn the Colts system than, you know, teach someone how to throw or run the way he does. Because it really is special in the glimpses that we saw last year pre-injury. And yeah, just unfortunate that at a game like this he would take a seat.
Yeah, to be honest, that really surprised me. Like, imagine one of the offensive linemen was like, "Oh, I'm tired," and they decide to sit out. And then say Anthony Richardson gets sacked. Imagine how he feels after getting sacked because one of his offensive linemen was tired.
Yeah.
Like, they get paid millions, and he can't continue to play. I mean, just honestly, it shows that he's not mature. He's not ready to be a leader of an NFL franchise. And honestly, it's sad because he has a lot of potential, and I think that can come to fruition if he just gets the time.
Yeah, and we all know Joe Flacco is a veteran. He brings a lot of experience to the team. Do you guys think by sitting Anthony Richardson, one, is it going to teach him a lesson that he should be able to stay in longer and gut it out for the team? And what experience and skills do you think that Joe Flacco is going to bring to the team this upcoming week?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about experience. Obviously, Joe Flacco's experienced. And I kind of understand it from the Colts' perspective, right? You look at this was an AFC South game versus the Texans that they could have won if you maybe had someone a little better at quarterback. And Joe Flacco has shown that he can play a high tier of quarterback, obviously back when the Ravens, and even last year in his time with the Browns winning comeback player of the year. So I think it's possible that this works out for the Colts. I think it's unfortunate for Anthony Richardson, but I think it's possible that he gets them some wins when they need it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're not going to win the Super Bowl, but if they were to play Anthony Richardson, it's kind of telling the team, oh, we don't want to win. We just want to develop our quarterback. So playing Joe Flacco kind of tells them, we want to give our team the best chance to win. And like he said, he was amazing with the Browns last year, unfortunately, in the playoffs against the Texans. Didn't go too well, but he's more accurate. He's a better downfield passer, honestly. And so I just think overall he just gives them a better chance to win.
Yeah, lots to talk about with the NFL, and we'll have to keep seeing out how this plays out this week with Anthony Richardson sitting out. Now moving on to the wonderful world of baseball. Currently we have Game 4 of the World Series going on. And last night the Yankees lost to the Dodgers 4-2. The Dodgers now lead that series, the World Series, 3-0. What's the problem with the Yankees? What do you guys think is going wrong with the Yankees? Nate?
I mean, it starts with Aaron Judge. 1 for 12 in the World Series, 7 strikeouts, a 58% strikeout percentage. And I mean, it's not just the World Series. He's batting 140 in the playoffs. Like, you can't win a World Series when the MVP bats 140. Like, they coasted by the Guardians and the Royals with Judge playing so bad, but you're not going to beat the most talented team probably ever with their superstar batting 140. And also, their catcher, Austin Wells, batting 125. Jazz Chisholm batting 231, and Jazz Chisholm has really struggled defensively at third base. And on the other side, Freddie Freeman batting 333 with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. I mean, it just, the Dodgers superstars have played better than the Yankee superstars, and it shows. So I think the series is over, and I think it ends tonight.
Jake?
I don't know about ending tonight, but I will say what's gone wrong is starting pitching. The Yankees have Garrett Cole, who has been great down the stretch, especially in World Series games during his time with the Astros. But even now, that Yankees rotation, it can be great for their bullpen, but when you have guys like Clark Schmidt last night only pitching 3 innings, you're really relying on your bullpen to go deep into that game. And when you're going up against hitters like Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman, it's not going to be as forgiving, and it's not going to be anywhere near as easy as they found early with the Guardians. So I think it's starting pitching all the way.
Yeah, and one thing that's interesting is the only team to ever come back down 3 games to win the best of a 7 series, and this was in the ALCS in 2004, was the 2004 Boston Red Sox. And I think it's important to note that no MLB team has ever won the World Series being down 3-0. And like you were saying, Nate, Aaron Judge, I think, is very crucial to this team. He has been a leader throughout the entire year, and the players look up to him and rally behind him. What do you think they need to get Aaron Judge going right now? How does he get hot?
I don't know. I'm watching the games, he's early on every breaking ball and late on every fastball. It seems that his timing is completely messed up. And honestly, I don't know. Maybe he just needs to see a ball go. Maybe he needs to have a home run. He'll get his mojo back. But it's not just this year. Aaron Judge has been proven to be a dropper in the playoffs. And the Yankees just can't afford to have that. So if he does, they have to win tonight, obviously. But if he can maybe go 2 for 4 with a home run, a single, a double, a walk, just get to see the ball more and see it better, I think maybe that can get him going. But overall, it's like I said, it's over.
Yeah, I mean, baseball's a cruel game. October isn't nice to everyone, right? And it definitely hasn't been kind to Aaron Judge this year and in other years. And I don't think anything different tonight is going to change that. As much as I would love to say as a baseball fan, let's have a close series, right? Let's go to Game 6, let's go to Game 7 where it's exciting. It's an almost impossible mountain to climb. As you've said, no one's really done it before. So I think if Aaron Judge has 3 hits, 2 hits, or no hits, I really don't think it matters here.
Now, boys, we all know the effect that the home field advantage can have on our teams. We've all played sports in high school, grade school. We've all watched sports. We know what a nice cheer from your crowd, a nice chant can do. Game 4 is being played in New York. Do you guys think the home field advantage will have anything to do with if New York can come back to this? What are you thinking, Nate?
Maybe. I mean, the game was home yesterday, and they lost. So, the Yankee Stadium is notoriously one of the most exciting stadiums to go to, one of the most popular stadiums, and the seats are always filled. But apparently that didn't work yesterday. And so, it can help to a certain extent, but I don't think with their players struggling as bad as they are, playing at home is going to fix anything.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, packed seats or not, right? It's who's the better team? And I think we've seen in these first 3 games that it is the Dodgers for both starting pitching, but also just in the lineup depth and the way that these guys have been performing, rather than, as you said, the Jazz Chisholms of the world and the Aaron Judges. It's just how it goes.
For sure. Well, boys, thanks for the great discussion. We are out of time, so tune in next week for all of our coverage of Marquette sports and more. I'm Nick Gross with Nate Oif and Jake Dale. Good night, Marquette.